Hello and welcome to my shop. My name is George and I'm coming to you from Chelsea, Quebec. And I think I'm going to be coming to you from Chelsea, Quebec for a little while yet. I'm not going anywhere these days. So today's video is about repurposing a case for the shop. You know how it goes. Something new comes on the scene. You buy a whole bunch of them. Eventually you need a case to store them. And then those things become obsolete. So what do you do with the case? Stay tuned. Well, if you're anything like me, you don't like to throw out stuff that's useful. My sickness runs a little bit deeper than that. I don't like to throw out anything that might someday be useful. Now, a long time ago, I threw out my 3.5-inch floppies. But I couldn't bear to part with the case that held them. So this was a case, it had a bunch of dividers here and you could organize your floppies according to what was on them. The case itself looks pretty nice and so I held on to it, probably for too long a time. Long enough to come up with this, which is a piece of 3/4-inch plywood with holes bored in it, and it fits inside this case. And here's its companion, and as you can see, the case is now a place where I can keep my router bits. The hole pattern here accommodates 1/2-inch and 1/4-inch shafts, and I staggered them like this, figuring that the 1/4-inch shafts probably have smaller heads on them than do the 1/2-inch shafts, and so by alternating them like this I could probably squeeze in a few more router bits. And that worked okay. Lately though, I've been playing around with making my own molding, and so for that I'll go and I'll try to choose from amongst the 2 or 3 bullnose bits that I have. I'll take a look at my half rounds, I get 1/4 rounds rather, and see which of the dimensions is appropriate for what I want to do. And for that to happen, it's best to have all of the 1/4 rounds together, so all of the different sizes of 1/4 round all in one place. So I've modified the platform here. Hang on a second while I get it. So I modified the platforms to this, and at first glance this might seem a little bit impossible because, well, all of the holes are 1/2 inch in diameter. But what I figured is, say some of my 1/4 rounds, some of them have 1/2-inch shafts and others have 1/4-inch shafts. So if I want to put a 1/2-inch shaft and another 1/2-inch shaft and then a 1/4-inch shaft over here, well, I can just put in an insert, a sleeve, a bushing if you will, that reduces the 1/2-inch diameter to a 1/4-inch. And so with this arrangement I'm going to be able to place my bits in a way that groups all of the 1/4 rounds, that groups all of the bull noses. The straight bits will be grouped, those with bearing, those without bearings, and so on. Now, I should mention that the sleeves that I'm putting in here, I'm lucky enough to have a 3D printer, so I just knocked them off on that. But sleeves like this can easily be made in the shop with some doweling, and then you just bore through the end grain of the doweling to get your 1/4-inch diameter. So here it is with the router bits populated and grouped together by style. So the roundovers are all over here. a couple of bullnose, some coves, and I can see right away how many of each style I have and what the relative sizes are. So that's going to speed things up when it's time to create a molding. Now, I've also packed them all together because I wanted to see how the capacity of this container improved. So with the old platforms, the bits were spread out, and they were completely full. There wasn't any more room with the old ones to add anything. With the new ones, I can see right away that I've got a little bit of extra space. Now, I'm pretty sure that after a box or two of Band-Aids, I'll probably spread them out a little bit more so that I'll stop getting my index finger and my thumb cut every time I try to remove a bit. But right now, it was great fun to see just how tightly I could pack everything. It always happens, or it often happens, that after I've published a video, I think about the design and I say, oh, you know, there was one more thing I could have done and that would have improved it, but I can't just go remake a video just to add this one small detail. In this case, I thought of something not early enough to incorporate it, but early enough to talk about it right now. And that's this. In making these sleeves that allow you to put a 1/4 inch shaft into a 1/2 inch hole, I bored all of the holes, or at least I prepared these sleeves with all of the holes dead center. And in some cases, that meant that two bits were a little bit too close to each other. And it's hit me just now that the sleeve holes don't have to be dead center. You can offset them a little bit. And with that, you could rotate the sleeve and put just a little bit of extra space where you need it in order to get the bits a little bit farther apart. So that's something to consider. Instead of putting the hole dead center, off-center it a little bit, and that'll give you even more flexibility in positioning two bits that maybe they overlap a little bit too much. Yeah, so, well, that's it for me for today. Just a short little video. I hope you found it worthwhile, maybe interesting, or mildly amusing, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just remember, make some time to enjoy your passion, and if you can share it, even better. Bye from me for now.